And good morning at 7:03 on this Thursday, January 9th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you on a Thursday morning. A little bit on the frosty side out there, but going to be a nice day, I think, before the rain gets here. And we are on the air for Bates Ford, as we are each Thursday morning at this time. We've got Paul Tubbs and Ronnie Kelly. Both are here this morning, and we always tell you Bates Ford's located at 1673 West Main, and they're the dealer that'll trade for anything you don't eat. So, Paul, good morning.
Good morning.
Ronnie, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you both. And we got to talk a little sports here.
Yeah.
I've already asked you if you were still sticking with LSU, and the answer was...
Yep, I believe they'll pull it out. SEC and win another one.
Over Clemson, and that's Monday night, isn't it?
Yeah, and Clemson, I tell you what, I watched that game. I didn't realize that quarterback was as mobile and a good run. I knew he could pass, but I did not realize he had a lot of yards running. That Ohio State-Clemson game was a tough game. It was a pretty good game. Actually, I had Ohio State picked, so I was a little wrong on that one.
And the Titans, our Titans, go to Baltimore Saturday night and play the Ravens. And,
they do.
We hope they'll play.
Well, yeah, I think they got their hands full. They played a great game last week, and I think they've come a long ways. I really hope they win, but I think it's going to be take a very, very, very good effort and a couple of turnovers. But I think they got their hands full this week.
Probably another good running game by the.
Oh, you got to have. I mean, he's going to have to keep the ball. We're going to have to control the clock and keep the ball in order for keep Jackson off the field, I'd say.
Yeah, Ronnie, you concur?
Well, I like to see them Titans bring it out. I think they can if they can control the ball.
I got an idea. You don't pay hardly as much attention to football or golf as Paul does.
Correct.
Well, let's talk a little. Let's talk a little Bates Ford here this morning. Man, could start out here with your oil change again, because that's a popular number.
Oh yeah, that $28.95 oil change is something we're proud of. We have a lot of customers come in. We, of course, like I always say, it's not just a quick slap a filter and get oil in it. It's a full inspection. We check your brakes, we check your batteries, we check your tires, and something else too. As far as tires, I had a customer come in. I believe it was Wednesday, and had a tire where he had got a bid from, I think it was Discount Tire. And, of course, Ford meter beat anybody's price on tires. So he actually had the price of the tires, which it includes the installation. But he gave me the part number of the tire. I sat there and we beat the price. So, we'll meet or beat anybody's price on any tires as long as it's the same part number, and it does include installation, which is a great deal. We do a lot of tire business. People wouldn't think that dealerships are as involved in tire sales, but, you got to think about how many tires the manufacturer purchases from the tire company. So, Ford can buy tires just as cheap when you got to put them on all the cars they build.
Yeah. And it takes 4 tires for every one of them. That's
right.
A lot of tires.
Yeah. So, I'm sure it's kind of like, these big corporations can go buy in bulk. I'm sure when the Ford Motor Company's buying tires, I'm sure they're including buying in bulk.
But you said quite a bit here. You'll beat anybody's price.
Meet or beat anybody's price on any tires, but it has to include installation.
Yeah. And of course, you're comparing apples to apples, tires
right,
to tires.
Right, same part number and all that.
Okay, all right, well, we got that. Well, come and get that oil change, and if we find something terribly wrong with the car, Ronnie's standing by to get you in another one.
Yes, sir. We're standing by in the waiting area. If something's wrong with your car and you don't feel like you need to get the repair done, we'll trade with you. In most cases, if it's repairs there, you got a bill there, we might even take care of that also.
You're just dying to sell a car to every day.
Yes, we like to sell some great used cars. I have one truck that's very, very nice. It's a 16 F-150 Lariat 4-wheel drive, 5.0 V8 engine, 26,000 miles, one on a truck. That'd be a great truck for someone to come in to purchase. 37,988. Like I said, just a ruby red, just a perfect truck.
Yeah. All right, and it needs a new owner real bad.
Needs a home.
Anything you want to say about the cars in particular?
Yeah, we've got some great deals. One thing, too, I always talk about that courtesy transportation program that we take new cars and put them as loaner vehicles for the customers and stuff. I got 2 really nice vehicles. I got one is a 19 Expedition, silver, gray leather interior. That's going to come in. It's going to have about $15,000 off. And then also a vehicle that a lot of people are really looking at is the Flex. I've got a Flex that's been in my loaner transportation program that I pulled. Both of these vehicles I pulled out yesterday. I've got them going through the detail shop. That Flex has got about $12,000 off. So, you can look at the price of a new vehicle, and the Expedition take about 15 grand off, and the Flex you can take about 12. So that's a great deal.
Well, you'll find them at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. And Ronnie, anything else you want to say this morning about any special deals?
Yeah, it's what we need to do. If you have anything to sell, we'll buy any car you have. Just bring it by, and we'll put a price on it.
When you say you're the dealer that trades for anything you don't eat, you back it up.
Yes, sir.
And, if not every day, every week, I guess somebody comes in with something.
100%. We got a camper right now. We've had people bring lawnmowers, trailers. If you've got something that you're not using, it's sitting in the garage, whether it's a lawnmower, trailer, boat, motorcycle, whatever, we'll put a number on it and certainly try to trade. And if you're not interested in buying a car, a lot of times we'll just buy it outright. So yeah, we'll step up and we'll take anything.
Well, that's the way they operate there, and we'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday we'll see how your predictions go. You're probably right on the money. I am sure pulling for the Titans.
I hope they pull out. I mean, I'm a Titans fan.
Wrong on that.
Yes, sir, 100%.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Paul Tubbs, dealer operations manager at Bates Ford, and Ronnie Kelly in sales there for 32 years. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer that trade for anything that you don't eat. Thank you, fellas. It's 10 minutes after the hour. Sergeant P.J. Hardy joins us today from the Lebanon Police Department. He's the public information officer and wears a lot of hats, but that's what he's known as, the public information officer. Sergeant, good morning.
Good morning to you, Coleman.
And how are you?
Well, I am very good, kicking off this new year, and we're excited to do so, coming off a really busy 2019, so we're looking forward to what 2020 can bring.
Well, the weather hasn't been bad so far.
It hasn't.
We've had some rain and we're talking about some wind blowing pretty hard maybe this weekend here. But as far as cold weather that I detest, we haven't had too much of that.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And what cold weather we've had is in the evening hours when we're sleeping, so that's pretty good. So it is kind of hard on the bodies though, and with sicknesses and whatnot when you're in the 60s during the day and down into the 30s in the evening. So we've our department has shared the same illnesses and flus and whatnot that's been going around, but I think everybody's recovering well, and we're getting a good foot.
Well, I passed by the renovation that's being going on out there, the old Middle Tennessee Electric building that city's owned for quite some time. Going to be your new police headquarters, and you're slowly getting there.
We're getting there. We're looking at projection probably around April 1st. We should be fairly in and hopefully functioning at that time. We're having to coordinate it with our new radio system. We don't want to have to implement a new radio system in the old facility and then have to transfer it back out to the new facility. So we're trying to, that timing is crucial right now to make sure that both things kind of marry up at the same time. So we're looking at hopefully around the 1st of April.
What's going to change, or is there going to really be any change there as far as your communication and all that? Is it all brand new?
Well, the biggest change with communications is that we're going to have the ability to, we will have the only hardened facility in the county and one of the few in the state of Tennessee. So we built our communications area based off of the FEMA guidelines, the Federal Emergency Management Authority's guidelines of how to build a communication center. It has to withstand so much wind and seismic activity and whatnot, and it is going to be classified as a true hardened facility. So that'll be a great advantage for us because, as you know, communications is key. And so, in a weather event, in a major type situation, we have to be able to communicate, and so. It'll be a safe place for our operators to work from.
Well, let me ask this: where is your office now? I don't think you sit behind a desk all day, but you do have an office and a desk, don't you?
Yeah, currently. So the whole reason why we have this project is because right now as a police department, we're divided into 4 different locations because we just don't have the room in the one building, the main building on Tennessee Boulevard. So right now, myself and the admin staff are at 112 Hartman Drive, which was the old Lebanon Fire Administration building, which was previously a fire station way back when, and prior to that, I think it was owned by Middle Tennessee Electric. So, we also have a facility on Carver, and then we also have an ESU facility as well. So we're in 4 different locations right now, kind of spread out, and we'd like to come back together under one house.
When this gets completed, and I suppose before you have a ribbon cutting and invite maybe the public out to see it, you will have transferred into there.
We will. There's a schedule and a process for that. We want to make sure everybody's in place and everything is working the way we want it to work, and looking the way we want it to look before we have an open house and invite the public. We just want to make sure that we put our best foot forward, and it shows well. It's a beautiful building, as you said. You drove by, so hopefully you see some of the work that's going on. The new facade is going to be
taking shape. You can see more of the finished product now, although it's not complete.
Yeah, so we're on the old exterior. We're just waiting for some decent weather so that it can be painted and so that the paint will adhere properly and stuff like that. But it's a beautiful building. We're super proud of it. I think it's going to serve the purpose very well because it'll able, like I said, bring us all back under one roof, and we're just going to be.
One other question. We'll go to the break here now.
Sure.
Hopefully, you're planning, and this is going to be big enough that maybe you won't even have to have an expansion. But even if you have had to have an expansion here in a few years, that this is going to pretty much be it and there and functional and just great for a long time.
Yeah, well, absolutely. What most of the area, most of the space has been designed in a way where that right now single occupancy, will exist, but it can in the future with expansion have enough space that we can double up and have other utility for it. So yeah, we've planned for that. This current building has given us 30 plus years of service, and we expect the same, if not more, from this new facility.
Okay, Sergeant P.J. Hardy's with us. We'll take a break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation and safety check. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. Cleanup continues on this accident in Rutherford County. It's 840 eastbound right before you get to Jefferson Pike. Yesterday we had a crash out in this area. They were trying to clean it up, and some rubberneckers crashed. Looking at this wreck from yesterday, again, 840 eastbound before you get to Jefferson Pike over in Rutherford County. It's a wreck being moved right now. We're looking at it live here on 24 westbound between Briley Parkway and 440. Be sure to check out Ober Gatlinburg's Ober Rocks 2020, January 25th, 8 p.m. to 11:30 in the Loft Lounge. Check it out, obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
It's a new day at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership at the same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. It's a new day at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Coleman and Company here on this Thursday morning. Sergeant P.J. Hardy's with us. Now, I asked the first question, got us rolling here, and I kind of wanted to know about your building and everything. You probably got some things you want to talk about, so it's your turn.
Well, just a couple things. I want to remind folks that this year, in 2020, we will have census takers coming out to gather some information. It's really, really important that we get that information to them. The census, while it gives us a good idea of how many residents we have, obviously, in the city and in the county and whatnot, but those numbers actually correlate to dollars, and a lot of people don't realize that. We have the potential of making sure that we can provide the services and the different things that need to take place in order to have a good community. And so when that takes place, it's going to be towards the end of February. Please do your best to make sure that you give current and accurate information. They're also looking for census taker employees to go out and actually do these census accounts. So it's a pretty decent part-time job. It's like $16.50 an hour with training and transportation. And so you can go to 2020census.gov /jobs to apply for that.
Well, let me say this. There's a reason. There are several reasons, really, for the census. But the more accurate that census is, all over the country, really, here or wherever. But the more accurate it is, the more it's going to help in planning and knowing where we are and projecting where we're going and all of this. And I remember I was a census taker in 1960.
That's awesome.
They called us enumerators, and I had to go and through a block and try to find everybody. And I walked up to this older fella and started talking to him. I'm pretty sure I identified myself, but anyway, he answered the questions. And when we got through, something said about the census. Oh, if I'd known you was from the government, I wouldn't have told you a thing.
There are some of those that for some reason have this adverse feeling towards the census, but really it's just a matter of, like you said, it's the only way that we can truly plan for our community. It's an opportunity for us to make sure that we all pay taxes, and those tax dollars are supposed to benefit all of us. And so we potentially can miss out on those benefits if those numbers aren't correct. So we want to make sure that everybody gets accounted for. They're not going to ask any personal information. They're not going to ask you any identifying information or anything like that. All they're simply wanting to know is how many residents live in that particular address so that can be reported.
You sound like you might be part of this. Are you working closely with the census?
Well, it's not just us with the police department. It's everyone within the community. We have had some meetings at the chamber in reference to the census that's coming up, and it's really important that law enforcement and healthcare and community organizations and churches and everybody gets involved to get the word out, because it's a way to make sure, like you said, that our city receives all the benefits from the planning to the dollar amounts and all that.
Yeah, and even if you got a burr under your side a little bit about something that happened and somebody even in government, maybe some person you don't particularly like or whatever, that should not deter you at all from coming forth and being counted, and because it's going to help us all.
It's going to help us all, and it impacts every person, and that's what some people may not realize. Well, it won't impact me, so what's the difference? Well, it does. It really does, because even if you don't get direct dollars given to you, or let's say you don't benefit from direct dollars, those direct dollars can benefit someone else, which takes the pressure off of you to have to fill the gap. You know what I'm saying?
It's for sure benefits the community, and
absolutely,
we're all part of the community. So.
Absolutely, and it's not just the money part too, because like you said, the planning is really important. We can't really know what direction to go in if we don't have accurate information, and so if there's more population here than we anticipate, then we can't do some of the projects that really need to take place in order for this community to be great.
It was Sarah Haston, I believe, but I'm not somebody I was talking to.
She's the president of my fan club. I just want to put that out there. It's a running joke between us.
It was her. I think it was Sarah, but I'm not sure. They were saying they believe we're going to have 40,000 people population of Lebanon.
It's hard to tell at this point, but we were looking at probably 35 plus change a few years back, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. But whatever that number turns out to be, we just want to make sure that it's accurate so that we can do what we need to do.
President of your fan club. What else on your mind today?
Well, we did wrap up this last year, and I, some of the numbers that people may not realize, some of the things that we do may not, be common knowledge to folks. But under the direction of Chief Mike Justice over these last 4 years, I tell you, our department last year, we took in over 73,000 service calls for service through our dispatch. And of that number, we're looking at about nearly 6,500 fire calls. So we service both police and fire when it comes to answering those calls. We took roughly 8,300 reports last year, 8,360 to be exact, and we made nearly 3,000 arrests last year. And those arrests, they could be for anything from driving without a license on up to whatever, to capital crimes. But I will say this: crime rates, we have enjoyed the last 3 years a decrease in our crime over the last 3 years each year. So we're anticipating the same for this year. Those numbers are verified through the TBI in their crime analysis report that typically comes out at the end of March, beginning of April. So we anticipate again yet another year, fourth year in a row, where our crime rate has gone down.
What do you attribute that to? Are we just being nicer people? Probably not.
Well, if you look at things that happen in the world, in the news, I don't know that would be a true statement. Yeah. But I think for us, for our community, what is happening is a true commitment, from the chief down to every civilian employee at the police department and the city as well. The city recognizes that we need to make sure that folks are following the law. Now, they have been great and gracious at making sure that we have the proper equipment, the proper manpower in order to make sure that everyone stays safe. And so we are not only are we a community-oriented police department, but we're a progressive police department, so that we want to make sure that we stay ahead of the curve. So when we hear crime trends, say, from other communities, we pay attention to that, and we try to set up plans and have things in place so that if it reaches us, we're already prepared for it. We don't want to be reactionary. So I think that's the biggest key, and I think everyone understands that it's not just a matter of we want to go out there and fight crime, which we do. But the reason why we do is because we all live here. We all have a vested interest in making sure that our community stays safe and that our community grows and prospers. So it's, like I said, I think more proactive than reactive than possibly in the past years.
Well, I think you are trying to be community-oriented in that you get out, and I know you have this thing once a year in October, what do we call that?
National Night Out.
National Night Out, right?
Yes,
and there are other times, I think, when you try to show that you policemen are human beings, you have families, you have children, this kind of thing, and I want to think maybe that helps a little bit.
It does. Last year, speaking of events, we did over 40 major events. Our police department assisted in over 40 major events in the city. So that, again, getting out there, making sure everyone is safe and having a good time. But yes, as you mentioned, also getting our face out there so that the public sees us and sees that we're there and feels comfortable that we're there to protect them. A lot of things that we've added over the last several years. We've got our Midtown unit with our emergency services officers that basically focus the parks and the Midtown area over to the square, down to the new walking trail over at by Lebanon High School. So they focus on that area, and they're very visible in different types of vehicles, different types of terrain vehicles, so that they can get around and move about in that area. So lots of different things that we have done over the course of the last several years has impacted that.
Well, I think you're fairly visible in the community too, and I think just the presence of a policeman is going to be a deterrent to somebody wanting to do something bad.
Yeah, well, in the years of law enforcement that I've been around, one key factor is blue lights. When folks see blue lights in a community, the good folks know that we're out there being active and keeping them safe. The bad people know that we're out there being active and keeping people safe. So when they see blue lights in the community, more often than not, that's a signal to them to say, hey, that might be an area that we kind of want to stay out of.
Sergeant, we were talking about the weather a little bit earlier. I guess when we have a bad snow day and a lot of wrecks, that's not a day that any patrolman, especially with the police department, likes, because they've got to go investigate, make a report, and it's cold and it's snowing, it's bad, and there are a lot of fender benders and all this kind of stuff. So if the more of that we can avoid, probably the happier the police are.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And we would love to be able to control more of that, and I think we do to a certain extent, but Mother Nature has a way of throwing curveballs at us, and we just kind of have to make sure that we're prepared for it. And it does. it's a terrible thing to be out there, downpouring rain and cold and snow. Although we don't get that much snow, but ice, we get plenty of ice from time to time. So yeah, it's something that we don't really look forward to doing, but we're prepared for it. We've got all the equipment, and we'll take care of whatever we need to.
Got a minute and a half to go. Anything else you think of this morning? We pretty much covered it.
Yeah, pretty much. But shameless plug, we've got our Citizens Academy. Of course, our spring edition will be starting the third Thursday in March. So about mid-February, start looking for those postings on Facebook and other areas and get signed up. We may be having a few changes in that program, and I really look forward to seeing how some of that stuff works out. So if you're interested in coming out and being a part of that, it's what we call free 99. It has no cost to it. We provide meals and a lot of education and hands-on information as far as what we do as a police department and how we serve our community. It's a great program.
Probably be something we can talk about when you come back in February.
In February, absolutely. Thank you, Coleman.
Well, we always appreciate your visit. You keep us pretty much up to date with what's going on, and I know you can hardly wait to get all together and all be in your new building there on Sparta Pike. But is that the official address?
It is 1017 Sparta Pike, and that will be our official new address. Now, we will keep our West Carver Lane facility up and running as well. There may be some changes with that in the future as far as having where officers are stationed. We might be able to do a little something different with that so that we have, especially on the west end during roll call where we start our shifts and end our shifts, we might be able to do something with that as well. So we're looking forward to lots of little changes, nothing really major, but I think all in an effort to make everybody's lives easier and more productive.
Well, thanks for being with us today. Our time is up. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Coleman.
And that's Sergeant P.J. Hardy, Information Officer for the Lebanon Police Department and Part 1 of Coleman & Company. Please keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And at 7:31, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota and Rental Exmark. Large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. #1 selling brand, bought 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're trying to clean up that wreck from earlier where rubberneckers crashed into each other out there on 840 eastbound near Jefferson Pike out in Rutherford County. Still heavy on 40, trying to get past the airport here through Hermitage, Donaldson. And Hermitage, that wreck is still there at OHB at Central Pike. And also 65 bumper-to-bumper southbound at Trinity Lane. Be sure to check out Ober-Gatlinburg's Ober Rocks 2020, January 25th. All the details at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Tenova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604. It's all about taking care of you, and THW Insurance will do just that. Are you looking for home or auto insurance? THW represents Westfield Insurance and other fine companies. Together, we will protect you and your family. Call Jeff Lee at 615-547-5646 or stop in and see him at the Wilson Bank and Trust main office.
This just happened. The Titans have eliminated Tom Brady and the world champions. The Titans advance to the divisional round of the AFC playoffs, heading to Baltimore this Saturday night. Titans countdown begins at 6, with a kickoff starting at 7:15.
Brought to you by Absolute Kubota Exmark, Bates Ford, Fakes and Hooker, Steamwell Plumbing, and the Jewelers.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Introducing Radius, the next great zero-radius turn mower from Exmark. Available now for as little as $4,999 with attractive financing offers, too. With Exmark, you'll get a great-looking professional quality cut in less time, every time. From the mowers landscape pros trust 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand. See your local Exmark dealer for complete pricing and finance details and schedule a free demo today. Stop by Absolute Kubota at 1325 West Main Street in Lebanon or call 615-449-6171.
After what's been a string of sunny days, cloudy skies are back in the forecast for your Thursday. Has a top out near 60 this afternoon. If you're going to be out later this evening, rain chances will be on the increase. We'll stay mainly cloudy through the overnight with lows falling into the lower 50s. We will stay soggy through the first part of the weekend. That's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Nisa Lomax.
And we continue. Thanks for joining us here on Thursday. We're ready to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living in Lebanon. Heather Sadler is on the phone this morning. Heather, good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you?
I am really good.
Well, I'm kind of appreciating the warmer weather here. It's January, but just a little frost this morning and going to be up maybe even in the 60s today. So how are things at the Pavilion?
For our residents are enjoying their screened-in private porches. So this is the weather they like to go out and get a little fresh air and not be too cold. So, yeah. And then our rocking chairs out front are staying full. So that's a good sign for January especially.
Well, you want to give us a progress report on your addition?
Yes, it is. Man, it looks so good. I mean, the carpet's down and we're just finishing some final little punch list things, and so I was kind of surprised when I toured it this week myself, and then saw how many rooms were taken because I've put reserved on those rooms, and then we're setting up a model room over there so people can come look at it with furniture. So I've been doing that. So we're kind of rocking and rolling and right on time for Target to open in February.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's not wait to the end to tell everybody where you're located. We kind of have go around the world way of telling people where you're located, but the official address of the Pavilion Senior Living in Lebanon is 1409 Medical Center Drive, but that's not what we usually say.
No, we tell them to go to Vanderbilt, Wilson County, and go like you're going to the emergency room and go past that, and it's the first road to the left.
Right. One street past the road to the emergency room, you take a left, and you're down there on the right at 1409 Medical Center Drive. And people do call you a lot, and your phone number, 615-444-5556, fairly easy one to remember. And I guess you welcome phone calls.
I welcome phone calls. We welcome emails, we welcome snail mail, whatever, we welcome visitors just to drop by anytime. So also our website at thepavilionseniorliving.com has tons of information on it as well. It has contact us forms, so if you're up in the middle of the night and you don't want to call us in the middle of the night, you can put that in there and we'll be glad to call you back as soon as we get there and get the message. We'll call you back and talk to you. So that's one way to kind of contact us. And of course, you can follow us on social media and send us messages that way as well.
Okay, you were talking earlier we were talking about your addition, and you were talking about a number of people have reserved rooms there, going to be moving in after you get open. You still have that special going? I can't remember. It seemed like we had a deadline.
We do. By the end of the month, $500 off for the first 6 months. It's a $3,000 savings.
Okay, so you
if
still
you put a
got
deposit down by the end of January.
Yeah, okay.
We'll give you that new move-in special, and we've got. So far, I've got 5 confirmed move-ins of 14 rooms. We have 14 apartment units, so we're kind of getting down to, some of them have already taken. So that's exciting for us. Sometimes it's, they get to pick which room they want, not just necessarily just the one that we have available.
Mm-hmm. And 5 down, you got 9 to go, I guess. So, and you got about 3 weeks to make up your mind here and save $500 a month for 6 months, I believe it is.
That's right. So that's a good little chunk of change to save.
Certainly is. Okay, well, you have, and this is going to be, what you're adding on here is going to be pretty much like what you've had. I don't guess there's a lot of changes, but it's very nice, very modern, very convenient. You've thought all this out ahead of
Exactly
time.
like what we've already had. We did add an extra. We had some demand for a an extra 2-bedroom unit, so we did build that a little different. So we have 2-bedroom units that are already actually taken, but we have those that we built on that wing. But it looks the same. It's assisted living. It's not a memory care unit. So we and it just kind of completes that campus, and we're excited to offer 14 new apartments in Wilson County because the need is there. You know, we've only been open a little bit over 2 years. To go ahead and build 14 new units it shows that this is a product people are wanting. So, and we're proud to offer that.
All right, before you go this morning, how are your daughters today?
They are good. We made it through Christmas, and Santa brought them a trampoline.
A trampoline.
And I will tell you, yes, and thank goodness Santa brought good weather on Christmas and after, because we have got to enjoy that trampoline. So.
All right. Well, with that, we will let you go this morning, but have a good week. We'll do it again next Thursday, and thanks for being with us.
Talk to you next week,
All
guys.
right.
Bye.
That is Heather Sadler. She's the marketing director for the Pavilion Senior Living here in Lebanon. And you can give her a call again, 615-444-5556. That takes us to 20 minutes before the hour. And here on this Thursday morning, we're going to be doing something, I'm going to be talking to some people I don't think we've ever talked to before. But one of them we have, and that's Tracy Hay. He is here this morning. Tracy, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Coleman.
I'm going to pick on you a little bit on the beginning here.
Sure.
You and Randall Hutto evidently have a special friend, or else he has prodded you a lot one, and I'm not sure which, but Randall mentioned it to me the other day. You gave me a call the other day and said,
Right.
is there any way you could have Robert Jackson on your program? And so I said, well, yeah, I guess so. Maybe I told Hutto, I said, maybe I ought to call him and talk to him a little bit. And then you called me the other day, and when I returned your call, I said, well, I don't even need to call him. Just tell him to come on out and you come with him. So
here we are.
And not only that, you brought a third person this morning.
Right. Well, you said Randall and I share a special friend. It's special acquaintance. Friend, we're...
Bully.
Yeah. No, Robert has a couple of influences on me and really our group. He leads an exercise class at Jimmy Floyd Center 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 6 o'clock if anyone's interested.
Is that 6 a.m. or p.m.?
A.m. or 6:15, I guess. 6 a.m.
Well, no, Tracy, we're supposed to be there at 6.
Okay.
You just come in at 6.
That's what it is. Randall comes in later than I do, though.
Well,
so
he runs on his own schedule.
Exactly. So anyway, from that class, Gary Soloway and a few others are in that. And then on Monday night, we have a class that I want Robert to share more, elaborate on what that's all about. So it's really kind of all about health, fitness, weight control, that type of thing. So that's
all right. Well, let me, Robert Jackson, let me say hello and welcome to our program. I don't think you've been on this program in the 26 years I've been doing it. Have you?
I have not.
Okay, so this is a first for you. And Gary Soloway, we welcome you this morning.
Thank you.
And nice to have you with us as well. So tell us how you got started, what you're doing here, maybe what your goals are.
Sure.
Other than getting under people's skin, I can tell you like to do that already.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of what we do. So my relationship with Tracy and Gary started, as Tracy said, at 6 a.m. Jimmy Floyd. We have a co-ed exercise group, and it takes place in the aerobics room, and it's a little bit of everything. It's some weightlifting and some stretching and a lot of aerobics, and so it's just a general health thing. And we've been doing that like 14 years consistently at Jimmy Floyd. It was actually started by Dr. Dwayne Lett, and then he got called up in the Army Reserves, and I sort of ended up the de facto leader of that group. I'm really just another person in there.
All right, I'm going to interrupt you
fine.
here because I want to know a little bit about you. I like
okay.
to know, where were you born?
Well, I'm a born and raised Nashvilleian.
All right.
I'm a third generation Tennessean, and I moved into Lebanon about 23 years ago. I was born and raised in the Madison area.
Okay.
And I'm an IT guy, so I spent all my days sitting on my butt in front of computers, and that's all tough on the body.
Uh-huh.
And I managed to pack on weight. I've always liked fitness. I always liked going to the gym and did that, but I never really controlled my eating or my dieting. So about 2 years ago, I went in to see the doctor here in Lebanon, and I was weighing in about 270, and the doctor said, "Well, Robert," said, "you got high cholesterol." And he said, "The numbers on your liver don't look good, so let's get that liver checked out." And it turned out I had a fatty liver. And so he wrote me a prescription for cholesterol medicine. And I said, "Doc, I don't want to do this cholesterol medicine, and I sure don't want to get to the point where I have high blood pressure." I wasn't there, but it was elevated. And I asked him what I had to do to get off the cholesterol medicine. He said, "Get your weight down to about 220, and we'll reevaluate." I said, "I'll do it." I had read this book a couple of years back called Die Fat or Get Tough by Steve Sebald. And Sebald's just really direct. And you can Google him. You'll see that he was on Good Morning America and all that. And a lot of people hated his book because he was so direct.
Yeah.
He talks about fat guys and fit guys. He doesn't talk about overweight people, food challenge people. He says fat is fat and fit is fit. And I really dug it. I really liked it. He's a big motivational speaker. And his book was laid out with 101 differences in thinking between fat guys and fit guys. And they're laid out in a way that it just made sense that you could do like a weekly study on this thing. And so I got together with Gary, Tracy, some other friends, and I said, let's do a group, and we'll meet every week, and we'll go through just one of those differences and get into the mindset of why us men stay fat. And I chose to make it a men's group because, men and women, we deal with things different.
Yeah.
You hear these guys picking on me, well, that's the way men do it, all right? Men don't come up, give you a hug, and say, "Oh, it's going to be okay, and you can eat that muffin." Gary will look you in the eye and say, "You big fat butt, what'd you put on weight for this week?" and so, our group Monday night, it works that way. And then we stay connected through the week with text messaging and sometimes email. Recently put up an Instagram site. And Coleman, you should see some of the text messages these two guys send. They would embarrass your mama.
Well, I'll tell you what, you answered my question well, and we know you a lot better now. And you did have a problem, and you attacked it, and we would say really the right way. And we got a lot more to talk about, but it's time for a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:47. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day up to 30 days after the sale. There'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still very busy out here on 840 eastbound, trying to get past Jefferson Pike on the scene of that earlier wreck in Rutherford County. OHB at Central Pike trying to improve through that intersection. Just heavy as expected here on 65 South at Trinity Lane. Still looking good coming out of Dixon County on I-40 East to Kingston Springs. Prince's Hot Chicken is the original hot chicken in Middle Tennessee. Check it out for lunch. 5814 Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
The temperature's dropping and so are the prices at Bates Ford. We got some great deals for you. We got vehicles with rebates up to $10,000, zero interest for 72 months. On the service side, we got tires with rebates of up to $140. We've got the Works vehicle package, which includes an oil change and a tire rotation for the low price of $49.95. Come see us at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main Street, 444-8221, or visit us on the web at www.tonybatesford.com, the dealer that will trade for anything that don't eat.
Coleman and Company, it is a Thursday morning, and if you're just joining us, we welcome you. And around the table, I have Robert Jackson, and Robert's done most of the talking so far. We've got a good story to tell, and we've got Tracy Hay here, and we've got Gary Soloway. Gary Soloway. Now, we hadn't talked to you much. You were telling me during the break, you came out here when we had the B-17 Super Flying Fortress out at the airport. You were here with Craigwell, I believe, T.O.
Yes.
Craigwell.
Yep.
What you're retired, but what are you doing for the most part?
I'm retired. I fly airplanes. I teach flying occasionally over at Lebanon Airport, and just try and stay busy with. I'm going to a Mount Juliet Chamber meeting at 11 o'clock today, so I stay busy with them. And
yeah. What have you done in the past? I owned a large machine shop up in Michigan, sold that, and moved to Nashville. And then I owned the Sunbelt Business Broker. I was like a real estate office for businesses. So if somebody wanted to come and sell their business or buy a business, I was the guy they would come to. Yeah. Well, you live here in Wilson County?
I do. I live in Gladeville. I live in the Glade.
The Glade. How did you get with Robert here?
So there's a group. Actually, there's an airport group that would come and work out with Robert. And when I moved to Gladeville, they said, you got to come and start working out, and I did. And I've been 5 years working out with Robert in the morning. And then one day, a couple of years ago, Robert said, "Hey, I'm going to start this men's group, to focus on weight loss." And I've always been struggling. So every 6 months, I would gain a pound. And then I got up to 234. And Robert asked me, and I said, "Yeah, I'll give this a shot. I have to do something." And so I've lost almost 40 pounds since I started on this program.
Okay. Are you looking for more people to join your group?
We do. One, as a team, the more the merrier. So we enjoy that. But I have a passion for overweight guys and for the obesity crisis. I put a slide up on our board a couple of weeks ago where a study shows Tennessee to be the #1 state with obese children. That's right. And I'm a native Tennessean. I'm a Tennessean boy. And, it just breaks my heart when I go out and I see these guys that are just walking heart attacks. And they're walking around with their children, and either they're going to leave their children without a daddy, or they're going to raise their children to be obese too. And so that is part of the motivation of trying to get people into the group. It's to try to change things, to try to change the obesity crisis.
How big is your group right now?
Well, we're running about a half dozen. We've had several guys that have come and gone for various reasons. We've had a few guys that came in, sat down, and say, "You know what, I'm not ready to commit to making this weight loss," and then they don't come back. But we have a core group of about a half a dozen, and we'd like to get it up to a dozen or so.
Well, you've already established the fact that this is a guys only thing.
It is.
What's that? They said that golf was guys only, ladies forbidden, or something like that. I got that. Anyway, this evidently works well for you, though.
Well, and it does, and it has to do with the way that guys relate to each other and they hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
We've had some friends in our co-ed morning group who that's looked at our text messages on the phone, and they said, "I don't want no part of this."
Tracy, I've never thought of you as being overweight or anything.
Yeah, he is.
Gary corrected him on that idea.
You know what? I had not either. But my doctor kind of kept encouraging me to, lose some weight. And then whenever Robert started that class, I thought, well, maybe I need to. So that was kind of a eye opener too. So it hadn't been like as drastic as maybe Gary or Robert, but I've dropped about 15 pounds, and I've tried to do it the right way, not just to go on a crash diet, but maybe cut back on some things and think differently before eating certain types of foods. So I still have a ways to go, but I like doing it the way that we're doing it, and for me being in that group, what Robert said as far as the accountability, that's the biggest thing, because One thing that we do whenever we get, now you don't have to, but we typically will put our weight on there from the week before. And so, it's always a constant challenge to look back and see, what it was the week before, what it is this week. It was this past Monday was our first time to meet since the holidays. So we're kind of going in there with our fingers crossed, and it turned out better for them than it did for me. I'll just say that. So
I can know who's the butt of the joke, said.
As usual. Yeah.
So Coleman, my weight goal is to always be less than Tracy, and we're pretty close, within a couple of pounds.
And they play it up. Coleman, the group, Man in the Mirror is not so much loss as it is sustained weight loss. Mm-hmm. Every guy out there knows how to lose weight. You got to diet. You got to exercise. But everybody also knows, like Gary's story, my story, Tracy's story, we gain, we lose, we gain, we lose, we gain, we lose. The question is, how do you lose the weight and then sustain that weight loss and not go through this endless cycle? And the key to sustainability is accountability. And that's what our group is. I tell some people, you can kind of think of our group as AA for fat guys. Because that's sort of what it is. When, as Tracy says, as I go through the week, I know I'm going to come in there Monday, and I know every guy in there is going to see what my weight is. And they're going to see whether I gained or I lost. And when I think about going to Taco Bell, I think, you know what? I can't go in there and put up a gain on the board. I just can't do it. And that really controls my eating and my thinking all through the week, knowing that these guys are going to nail me.
All right. Now, if you stay the same, if this Monday I weigh the same as I did last Monday, am I okay? Have I got to lose it? Or depends on how big I am to start with, I guess.
It really does. It depends on where you are in your weight loss journey. Now, we do other things. We do what we call special studies. We're going to do one Monday night, and it's going to be all about how we gain weight, how the chemistry of the body works, how we process that. So it's not all just the Die Fat or Get Tough book. Mm-hmm. We did a 4-week study, 5-week study on just habits. And I mean, that changed all of us when we started realizing the triggers and the routines and the reward process that we were going through. We did a study on just diets. We talked about vegan and South Beach and what each one was. We don't tell you this is what you eat and this is what you don't eat. But what we do say is get on a diet, fat boy. You need to. So you pick one that works for you and your lifestyle, and then we'll help you stay accountable to stay on that diet.
All right, we just got about 3.5 minutes here, but I want to. You would like to have more people. You want to help people. You want people to be healthier, to lose weight, all of this. What is somebody obligating themselves for? Let's talk about cost and obligation here.
No obligation. You do not have to be a member of the Jimmy Floyd Center to come there. There's no contract. There's no membership. The only thing we ask is $20 a month because we do have to pay for the meeting room at Jimmy Floyd. And we do a little bit of advertising, prints of brochures, things like that. And so that money covers those costs. We have a website that has a fee. Mm-hmm. That's it. No obligation.
$20 a month.
You just show up. If you don't like it, you walk away.
And it's that simple, huh?
It's that simple. The hard part is getting yourself off the couch and spend a Monday evening and come in and getting connected with the group.
All right. Go ahead.
I was going to say it starts at 6:30 on Monday night, and we usually last about an hour.
You must have read my mind. That's what I was wondering. What time and how long?
Yeah.
6:30 on Monday night in about an hour.
Right.
To know more details, go to our website. It's MITM, as in Man in the Mirror, MITM dash Man in the Mirror spelled out .com. And you'll get all the information you want about the group. And there's even a video of me, talking about the group.
Let me see if I got MITM dash maninthemirror.com. All right, okay. So that's it. You get a wealth of information there. And but if how big could you get if?
Well, Well, I mean, there's really no limit to the size. This is not something I'm doing to make money, but if there were a need and there were an interest and we needed to start a Thursday night group, we would do that.
Do you feel you've accomplished quite a bit, even though you don't have the numbers you'd like to have participating?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got my weight down, and it's been down, year and a half. And as long as I stay with this group, I'll maintain that. And I can see my girls grow up and see my grandbabies.
All right, we'll let the other two have a word here. Gary Soloway, anything you want to say here before we go? Got a minute, so.
Yeah. I just went to the doctor yesterday, and I was diagnosed as being pre-diabetic, and because I lost the weight, all my blood levels, sugar levels are normal, and so I'm very thankful for the group, and it's working out great for me.
All right, so you are healthier as a result. No
Absolutely,
doubt.
yeah.
Tracy?
Yeah, same. Again, I don't feel like I was ever extremely overweight, but obviously, and some people disagree with that, of course. But I do feel like that at least what I've lost up to this point, I've been able to maintain, and that's been unusual. I went back and looked. I've tracked for about the last 4 or 5 years, kind of where my weight's been, like at the beginning, end of each year, and so for this past year, it never did fluctuate like it had been in the past. I had gotten up to like 215 at one time, and so it's nice to be able to sustain.
We're just about out of time. Robert Jackson, thanks so much for coming out, and Tracy Hay and Gary Soloway, we thank you. Good program here, and wish you well.
Thank you, sir.
That is going to do it for Thursday. Join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.